Matthew chapter 6 verse 10 says, "Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." There is only one way that rules in heaven. There is only one way that reigns in heaven. There is only one way that governs the affairs of heaven. It's only the will of God that exists in heaven. There is no self-will in heaven. There is no personal opinion in heaven. It's only the will of God that takes place in heaven. So if you want to make yourself a candidate of heaven, you must be a person that aligns, that obeys with the will of God. You must be a person that is willing to follow the will of God. And you are not going to get to heaven until that is determined. If you cannot follow the will of God when you are in the world, when you are living, you cannot follow, there's no way heaven can trust you to follow God's will when you get to heaven. It is appointment for men to once to die, and after death is judgment. So the whole world is a test. The whole world is an examination hall for heaven to determine whether you are a person that is ready to follow God's will. And for as many people that are willing, that demonstrate the capacity, the ability, the desire to follow God's will, those are the ones that are going to be taken as candidates of heaven. Thy will be done as it is in heaven. In heaven, there is no opposition party. In heaven, there is no democracy. In heaven, there is no minority opinion. Heaven is completely governed by the desire, by the laws of God. There is no room for opposition. When Satan rebelled in heaven, that he was thrown into the earth, there is no room for opposition, for rebellion in heaven. So for God to trust you that you are going to follow his will, and his will is rational, his will is moral. If you can't follow the will of God when you are in this world, God will not trust you. Heaven will not follow you to follow God's way when you get to heaven. And that is why today you must decide to follow the will of God. Heaven is not a spiritual laboratory. There's no room for experiment in heaven. There is no room for a second chance in heaven. You have all the chance. We have all the chance in this world. Today, you shall start to follow the will of God. No matter how long you spend in this world, 70, 80, 90, 100, 120 years, can you compare it to eternity in heaven? Eternity, timelessness in heaven. Sin shall not derive you of paradise in Jesus' mighty name. Thy will be done. Let the will of God be done in your life in Jesus' mighty name. Let the will of God be done in your destiny, in your family, in your household, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Decide that every day is only God's will that you want to follow. That is what is going to make you a candidate of heaven. Let the will of God be done concerning your marriage. Let the will of God be done concerning your business. Let the will of God be done concerning your breakthroughs. Let the will of God be done concerning your destiny, concerning your career, concerning your travel plans. Let the will of God be done. Because it's only the will of God that will place heaven. Today, I sacrifice your will. I bury your will on the altar of the cross of righteousness in Jesus' mighty name. Learn how to follow God's will. Learn how to listen to God's will. Learn how to obey God's will. Because that is the only thing that will qualify you for heaven. It is well with you. I crucify your will on the cross of Calvary in Jesus' mighty name. The will of God, not the will of man. The will of God, not the will of your friends. The will of God shall come to pass in your life, in your destiny, in your businesses. The will of God shall come to pass in your marriage. And as we follow God's ways in this world, surely and definitely, heaven shall make you one of the saints. Because even in heaven, you are going to follow God's will. That shall be your case, and that shall be your destiny. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.